Tom? Where are you, Tom? Come here, boy. Yeah, Mom, I'm coming. Good boy, you know that I do this to protect you. Hey friends, it's Rana and welcome back to another quick review video. Today I'll be reviewing Malorie by Josh Millerman and it is the sequel to Bird Box. If you have been following my channel for a while, you probably know that I really love Bird Box. I've read it twice now and I watched the movie recently, which I found to be a really good adaptation despite the changes that they made. To briefly tell you what Bird Box is about, it follows the story of a woman called Malorie who tries to survive in our world when strange things starts happening. So there are these unknown creatures that suddenly appeared in our world. And when people look at them directly or indirectly, they lose their minds and start killing other people around them or killing themselves, or in most cases doing both by killing other people and then ending their lives. Malorie goes through many hardships in Bird Box just to survive in this new, terrifying world, and the book ends up with her arriving at the School of Blind with her two kids. I was pretty satisfied with the open ending of the first book, and now, after 6 years of Bird Box, we have a sequel. Malorie. So Malorie, the sequel, was published on the 21st of July 2020 and it follows the story of Malorie and her kids 14 or 15 years after they arrived to the School of the Blind. I won't say many things about the plot to keep this video as spoiler free as I can. I rated Malorie 3.5 out of 5 stars and now I'll tell you some things that I enjoyed and liked in it. Then I'm gonna tell you something that I really didn't like, which caused me to give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. But let's start on a positive note. The first thing that I really enjoyed in Malorie is the same thing that I really liked in Bird Box, is the writing style. The writing style of Josh Millerman is really simple and easy to read. The second thing that I really enjoyed in this one are the characters and their development. They are really fleshed out, and the sequel relies heavily on the character development rather than the plot development. In this one, we got to read from the point of view of other characters, not just Malorie, and I really enjoyed reading from the perspective of Olympia. She was my favorite when Malorie and Tom were fighting all the time. Just let me tell you this thing about the characters. Malorie becomes overly protective for her kids after what happens in the first book in the house and what later happens in the School of Blind, and I really understand where she is coming from. But Tom lied to her many times and put their lives in danger and was really reckless. The reason why I really love Olympia, she was the sound of reason in this book and she was the middle ground between these two polar opposites. And the last thing that I really enjoyed in this book is how fast of a read it is. You can easily fly through it. And now for the things that I disliked in this book. The first thing is that I wanted more action, more horror, creepy things like the first one. The first book was more intense and I was on my edge throughout reading it. But Malorie didn't have the same vibe as Bird Box. It was more of a family drama than it was scary. The second thing is we didn't learn a lot more about the characters. They are still mostly a mystery. I wanted to learn more about them, about their nature, how do they look, where did they come from, but all of that remained a mystery. And lastly, the plot development. Nothing important happens in this book till the end of the book, which annoyed me a little bit because I am more of a plot reader. There was something wrong with the pace. All the important things were crammed and put in the last quarter of the book, and I really hated the return of some characters. The way Malorie ended, there is a high chance that there will be a third book. And if it happened, I really hope that it will be as good as Bird Box at least and redeem the second one. Please don't let these things that I mentioned discourage you from reading Malorie. I recommend it if you are a fan of Bird Box, but keep in mind that it won't be as good. But let's hope for a good third book. So that's it for today's quick review. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to see my future videos and I will see you next time. Bye! I think the most scary thing about this review is my bare face.